if it's bull or bear, I don't care. It's quite a rough ride, just like life. But I'm kinda patient, cause only time will tell. It's gonna go up, so you better stay calm. Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I am the Crypto Crow. It is 11:30 a.m. my time, and I'm getting a little bit of an early jump on things today. There's a bunch of stuff that I want to go over. I want to go over Solana, Cardano, Nervos, and Zempify. For those of you that don't know, Zempify beta is live, and it's starting to shape up. I mean, it's getting better. There are lots of tweaks and things that are coming. People are starting to add NFTs. I've got a couple myself. Here's my Ethereum NFT. This is Ethereum 16-bit, so this isn't the full art version with the treasure hunt yet. But again, I want to make sure that Zempify is 100% exactly where we want it before I launch the big grand poobah treasure hunt NFT. But anyway, it's nice. I've bought a couple NFTs. I've sold a couple NFTs. And, I tell people, hey, if you want to get some exposure to your collection or one of your NFTs or whatever, start getting them on Zempify, because I'll start covering them. This is Counselor number 04281. I actually think these are kind of cute. I like bit pixel art. So, I dig that. And, let's see what else we got here. We've got these werewolves, which I've never seen, werewolves before. Wolves of Cardano number 850. It's currently available on Zempify.com, put out there by Bogey28. I think it's Bogey28. Cardano fanboy living in Australia. Australia, they have got it rough. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and buy this man's NFT. I'm just going to do it right here on the channel. It should go through, and I don't know, maybe it'll help put a smile on the face of this gentleman from oh dang it, I gotta put in my password, which I don't have handy. Shit, I'm gonna have to get it later. Oh, that stinks. That stinks. Well, boo. All right, because I have really long passwords for everything, and I don't save anything anymore. You know how I roll. And I keep everything locked away, and I wasn't ready. But anyway, Wolves of Cardano number 850. That's actually kind of cool. I'd like to see some more of these. Yeah. So anyway, that's Zempify. It's still definitely a work in progress. There's a lot happening, and we've got a lot of features and functions. That's really cool. But check out what's available, and listen. I've got this video. Sell Cardano based NFTs with royalties on Zempify.com, complete walkthrough. Check that out. It teaches you how to set up your collection on ADA Tokenizer, mint the NFTs, send them over to Zempify, list them with royalties. And so every video, I'm going to start featuring a few different NFTs. And if I like one of them, I might just buy it on the fly. Next time I'll be ready. And so, yeah, there's that. Now, get to some news, some stuff going on. Visa of digital assets, quote unquote. Bank of America issues shock Ethereum rival prediction as the price of Bitcoin, BNB, Solana, Cardano, and XRP suddenly slide. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency prices have dropped back after staging a sudden recovery earlier this week. The Bitcoin price climbing to almost 45,000 per Bitcoin after dropping to 39,000 last week has stalled, falling sharply back toward 40,000, which it's currently almost 43,000. It's back up to about 43. Meanwhile, other top 10 cryptocurrencies, Ethereum, BNB, Solana, Cardano, and XRP have also dropped back, erasing much of the gains they made this week. Don't I know it? Now analysts of Bank of America have predicted Ethereum rival Solana, which has rocketed 4,000% since this time last year, could win a significant amount of market share from Ethereum and become the Visa of the digital asset ecosystem. Now, I saw this and I read it and I thought, this guy holds Solana. I mean, he's got to. There's no question. I mean, you know, I guess he doesn't have to. But yeah, Visa of digital assets. Legendary investor reveals huge sign. Suddenly soar. You know, I haven't gone through all of his content because I'm not trying to do a big expose on Billy Bambro, but seeing this article, I thought, okay, how much did this article cost? Because that's what I assume. Not to say that's true. I don't know. What I know is that this is on Forbes. And like I've explained to people in the past, you know, I have an SEO background. I mean, getting sites ranked, what it takes to do that. And I know, I think it's like $2,000 to put an article like this on Forbes. And generally it's senior contributor. These guys can sell articles. They typically sell them for like a couple grand. They start off by writing articles for Forbes. And the more they get accepted, the higher their status is. And it gets to the point where they can publish whatever they want, as I understand it. And I've shown in previous videos, like price sheets, like what does it cost? All you really have to do is pay the money, and somebody like this will publish the article on their account so that it shows up on Forbes. And in crypto, this kind of tactic is used for helping, helping, you know, credibility, you know, little FOMO, stuff like that. But the biggest thing of it is because Forbes is a high authority website, and having a backlink from Forbes helps your SEO rankings, helps other content on your site or related to your site go up in search engines, so forth and so on. And so when I saw this, knowing how things work, I mean, I could buy an article on Forbes and basically have somebody like Billy Bromberg or some other contributor basically talk about how I'm the biggest, best YouTuber in the world, even though I've only got 136,000 subscribers, right? It's not that hard. I feel like I should do something like that just to prove my point. Solana right now is trading at $146. It's down from, you know, basically up here is 153. If I want to look at the, you know, year to date, at one point it was $258. So this was on 11/5 of 2021. So basically in November, it had a peak of 258, and it's just continued to fall from there. Well, why do you think some of that is? Well, obviously the market overall is a big reason, because the market has been coming down quite a bit. But there are other things about this that I don't like. This article, Solana has been ravaged by constant hacks. Now, you can read this kind of stuff, and it has been. I mean, Solana has been victim to a lot of different hacks, which is not good. And Masari found out that 48% of the total tokens on Solana were owned by the team and entities such as companies and venture capitalists. So when almost half of the total supply, when half of this, circulating supply is 315 million tokens. 315 million, roughly. 313.5. And a market cap of $46 billion, but half of that is basically owned by venture capitalist groups and the team. I tried to look up this information on Into the Block, which I'm pretty sure it used to be there. Now it is no longer. Solana, if it was, is no longer available on Into the Block, which to me is another red flag. All I'm going to say out of all this is be wary of shit like this because I don't buy it. Why would Visa look at a cryptocurrency or a blockchain that's basically not really decentralized? It's owned by the majority. The majority is owned, or it's not even technically the majority, 48% based off of what they found, but who knows? Owned by the team and venture capitalist groups that's constantly being hacked. Why would Visa or why would anybody look at this as the next Visa of digital assets? Give me a fucking break. That's all I can really tell you. To each their own. If you're looking at the price and you're thinking, oh wow, it's $146, you know, it could easily go back to 258, blah blah blah. Now's the time to buy in. Do you? But I'm sticking with what I know and trust. With a much better track record thus far than Solana. And I know a lot of people, they love to create their NFTs on Solana because it's cheap and they say it's fast, and that's all great. But is it decentralized? Is it in line with what the blockchain universe is actually needing or wanting? I don't think so. I'm staying away. And that's basically how I feel about Solana, as real as I can give it to you. I don't trust it. I don't trust a lot about it. Even if they were to like pay me for some sort of paid segment, this is one of those projects that I just don't feel comfortable with. I mean, that's basically all there is to it. I just don't feel comfortable with Solana. So it is what it is. Getting into some Cardano roadmap updates. Daedalus, this is from January 14th, 2022. This week, the team finalized work on regression tests in preparation for the Daedalus version 4.7 release and ran test builds using the new Cardano node version 1.33 ahead of the flight version 4.8.0 FC release. The team also made progress on features such as staking reward history, RTS flag settings for slow machines, and analytics tracking. I'm going to bump this up a bit so that I can see it a little better. Wow, that light is really making me look flushed out quite a bit. Makeup. I don't have any. I don't have any team. I don't have anybody that helps me. Damn it. Adrestia, however you want to pronounce it. This week, the team prepared an update to make Cardano Wallet compatible with Node version 1.33, which includes a stake pool desirability score to improve the stake pool ranking system in Daedalus. That's actually pretty cool. I've got some metrics and things I'm going to go over here in a minute. Cardano decentralization. This is something that real decentralized blockchains reference quite often. This week, the team worked on Babbage transactions, reduced the memory of the ledger state, and completed the ledger code profiling. They also resolved several community requests relevant to Cardano CLI and serialization library activities. That's all development stuff I don't know much about. The Hydra team continued working on the on-chain verification to ensure that Hydra heads are properly secured using Plutus scripts. This includes verifying multi-signatures serialization and hashing of UTXOs as agreed in a head-off chain. The team also profiled script execution costs to determine whether or not a hard fork will be necessary. Finally, in current updates, Goguen. The Plutus team worked on both regression and comparison tests for generic implementations and Plutus-type classes. They also made updates to partial type signatures for DHC, Glasgow, Haskell compiler support. Additionally, the education team launched the third cohort of the Plutus Pioneers program this week. So I will let you guys know that I have a small team working on something that I think is going to blow away. I think it's going to basically, I've alluded to this. I've told Charles about it. He wants to do an interview about it. I'm like, I'm not ready. I am privately funding the development of an MVP for a Cardano based, NFT based tactical tabletop game. And I'm not going to say what it is, but let's just say that I am working on bringing one of my favorite games in the world, the tabletop tactical game, I'm working on bringing one of my favorite games of the world to the blockchain as a digital exact. Basically, you're playing the game as you would on a tabletop. You're playing it on a computer, and hopefully mobile phones. We're building it, and our graphics and everything. We're focusing around mobile platforms. I can't show you anything yet. I can't really tell you exactly what it is yet. It's something I've been wanting to do for the last 2 years. It's something that's needed to exist for longer than that. I can't give you any more clues because you'd probably figure it out. But let's just say it was almost a 2-hour video chat with the owner of the company, the original IP, and it was a great conversation. It was a great chat. We laid it all out on the line. He explained like what they want to see. And I don't feel comfortable even announcing anything just yet because I want to wait until the MVP is completely done. And by MVP, it's basically like minimum viable product. It's basically we're taking 2 factions, we're building the entire game around it, and we're implementing all of the rules, the gameplay rules, how everything works. We have 2 small armies that we're building the MVP with, and at that point, I'm going to be bringing on a blockchain developer so that we can figure out how to implement every model on the table as an NFT that's tradable, sellable, so forth and so on, and like list building, a lobby, all of the fun stuff associated with basically finding somebody anywhere in the world to play with, and there's a lot that's going to go into this, and I am. My wife is actually happy that I'm doing this because it's something that she knows I absolutely love. I have a very, very strong passion for. I love tactical games as it is, tactical RPGs, all of that. But I think honestly, when this thing starts to go, I think it's going to take over gaming. Not take over gaming. I think it's going to shock everyone. I think it's going to build a bridge between 2 worlds. I feel like it's going to build a bridge between the blockchain folks who just like love to collect NFTs and all that. And then it's going to build a bridge between the gamers and the people out there that love this game, but they don't know anything about blockchain. And I think it's going to bring these people together. And I think it's going to be a mutually learning kind of thing because you're going to have the hardcore, the gamers that love this game coming into the blockchain space, teaching these blockchain folks how to play the game, how to get better and all that. And then you're gonna have these blockchain people telling you how the NFTs work and why they're cool and all this and other things. So I really think it's going to be something strong for the community. I'm very, very excited. So I can't wait because I will do an interview with Charles where we talk about it. Because I explained to him everything we were doing, who was involved, and he's like, "Oh, we got to go. Let's do a video. Let's do an interview." And I'm like, "I don't want to do anything yet. I don't want the world to know yet. I've had the mistakes of the past where I'm not crowdfunding this. I'm funding this privately myself. And it's like I've had mistakes where you start talking a lot about what you're trying to do and this and that, and it falls through, and everybody hates you. I don't want to do that again. I mean, that has been the most scarring situation of my life." And but I do have a really strong passion for games, man. I mean, I feel like I'm doing a lot of the things today that I couldn't afford to do when I was a kid, and I think this is kind of my way of I don't know, just doing something that I really love. So be on the lookout for that. I probably shouldn't have rambled about that for so long without even being able to show you anything, but I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a big deal. Looking at Cardano's price on a chart, this is just a 10-minute chart. So, but we got back up to $1.30, and I knew it was not going to last. I just knew it wasn't. I've been so stressed, folks. You have no idea how stressed I've been. I have sold all my Bitcoin. I have sold all my Ethereum. The only thing I still currently hold is my Cardano. And this is the first I've said it and told anybody, but I basically sold my Bitcoin last week. The price is basically, I think it's right back to where, it's a little less than it was when I sold it. And here's the thing here's the message, I guess, if there's a message in this video. I've been accumulating and doing what I've been doing for so long, and I got out at one point in like 2018. Bitcoin had peaked out at like 20 grand, came all the way back down to like 8,500. That's where I basically sold not all of my Bitcoin, but some, and I've held on to it all these years. And here's the thing: if I look at, I'm going to show you something, and this is what makes me a little nervous. Okay, I'm just going to bring this in. This is basically the logarithmic scale of Bitcoin's price activity since, I don't know, for a long time. Okay, I mean, this starts basically back in 2011. And if you look at these peaks, the only time Bitcoin's price has dipped into the green has been when it wanted to go lower. Okay, I mean, this here is 2017. We come into the green and it goes lower, comes back up a bit, back into the yellow. And here's the thing: if we look at what's been happening recently, this bothers me. And it bothers me in a way that I'm so 50-50 undecided. I have been screaming a two-peak market for years now. I really expect this market to be a two-peak market. I think, we got this first one. And listen, Bitcoin peaked out at 64 grand, started to drop. Then we came back up to, we're at 43,000. This is a weekly chart, just so you know. This is a logarithmic scale, curve zones on a weekly candle. And then, well, this is saying we got back to 68.8. I don't remember that happening. Did we wick up that high? I guess we wicked. I'm seeing 65. So given that we had basically what I'm rambling about here is I'm hoping that this isn't the two peaks I was talking about. And then we just continue to go further. Now, we haven't closed. We've wicked into the green. This will be the third time we've wicked into the green, but we haven't closed into it. This is on a weekly candle. I really want to see 52,000. I don't want to see, 36, right? I don't want to see the price going much lower. If we close into this green, to me, that's just screaming to me that's just not a good sign that the market's going to come back anytime soon, and that we could very well be in a bear market. If we hit somewhere between 36, if we close between 36 and 38, I think we're probably done. And I was wrong about a two peak market, unless we wanted to count these two, right? Which I'm not 100% ready to commit to that, which is why I still hold my Cardano. And I'm never going to sell all of it. I mean, my Crow node, I'm never emptying that. And, there's some metrics and things I want to go into, but like I've got 32.9, almost 33 million in active stake on my Crow node. And it has been coming down a little bit for different reasons. Some people are basically changing their delegation over to places where they can get some Sunday swap tokens and things like that. Even friends of mine have told me, like, hey man, I had to switch from your node for a little while, get some Sunday swap. And I'm like, all right, it's cool. I get it. I don't blame you. I haven't done that, but I get it. The thing of it is there is so much. I am super, super conflicted on this, folks. I'm not lying to you. I'm super conflicted. I'm losing sleep over it. My wife is like walking on eggshells. I'm kind of losing my mind because I just don't know what's coming. And I told her, I said, listen, if we enter a bear market and we confirm a bear market, we have to have a nest egg. We have to have money to live, because it doesn't matter basically what you're able to make. A lot of the paid segments, a lot of the stuff that I do dries up entirely for the most part during a bear market. And, so it's like what we have is what we can live on. And while it sucks to sell things at a low or much lower than it was, I mean, it's less than half of the value. Cardano's less than half the value it was at over 314. It's and there are other things. It's like, I need to figure out are we going to continue moving back up? Like right now, it doesn't look too bad. We're kind of going up a bit. Again, we're back up to $1.27. I want to think that we're going to start moving back up. And I would like to think that, you know, here we are on January 14th and the price is just kind of bouncing around a bit, but we're not really making new lows. If anything, we're making, you know, some, what's the word, lower highs. I'm not sure how you want to look at that, but the price wants to move up. I think Cardano wants to go on a big run. I feel like it's primed to go on a big run, not just Cardano, but everything. And when Jerome Powell and they released the CIP details and all that stuff on inflation, yada yada, we got a nice little bump up to $130 on ADA. Bitcoin rose up. And then, you know, that typically, I told my wife, I'm like, this is only going to last like an afternoon or a day. I'm like, it's going to go up for a while and then it's going to come right back down to where it started. I mean, it's just how people are. People that are uncertain are selling into the people that are buying based off of like any promising notion from the Fed. And it's one of those things where I'm like, okay, listen, if I hold my Cardano, I have the resources I need to pay my taxes from last year. I have the resources to do what I need to, and I still have a property in Puerto Rico I'm selling. It's literally being gutted right now to be completely remodeled, like all the bathrooms, the kitchen, and all that stuff. And it's a beautiful place. It really is, and I'm hoping to do well from that. At which point that will help. I'm basically just going to put all that and right into this house. And probably refi to lower my monthly, right? And there's so many different elements to that. And then I have other friends who have bought into Cardano at like 11 cents and they're always blowing me up and they're like, when are you selling? When are you selling? I'm like, I'm not selling, I'm holding. You know, as long as the price stays above $1, I'm good. And the other side to this is it's, you know, the challenge of the psychology of holding long-term. I mean, you figure I've been buying Cardano since 2017. I'm not letting it go this cheap. And on top of that, if we did enter a bear market, well, the Cardano I hold is going to continue producing more for me for free. It's staked to Crow node. It's generating a passive yield. And I'm happy with that. And I there's so much to it and I don't have all my thoughts clear. But ultimately, I'm holding my ADA. I'm willing to give up pretty much everything else, but I'm not giving up my ADA. And that's how I feel about it. Because I think that even if I have to wait until 2025, as long as I have my eggs in proper baskets financially to cover me for a few years, to be able to enjoy life a bit without going crazy. And you know, I wait until 2025 or something like that. Then it is what it is. There's one other facet to this that worries me, and that's the global economy. This is a two-edged sword for me. Number one, if the entire market starts collapsing, or we end up in some sort of deflationary state or whatever, and the economy just takes a nosedive, and I'm holding on to my ADA, well, there's two sides of that too. One, if there's some big war or whatever happens and there's EMPs and stuff gets blasted, well, I still have my ADA on a wallet for when things get better. I'm not leaving it on exchanges. I'm not leaving it sitting on some exchange ready to get out. I'm leaving it on my wallet. I have my keys secured. They're not going anywhere. They will not be discovered. Whenever I'm ready to do something, I can do something. But until then, it's fine where it is. And you know, because if you're leaving your crypto on an exchange waiting for the right time to get out, I feel like to some degree you're kind of waiting for a problem, especially if things go crazy. Because if things do go crazy, a lot of banks are probably going to lock up, close down. You're not going to be able to withdraw assets. You're going to have a lot of problems. Okay. And because we've seen this happen time and time again. And that concerns me. The other side to that is, I'm seeing a lot of these, you know, follow Pelosi trades, follow these government official trades, that sort of thing, where people are saying, oh, if Pelosi did this put option or this call option or her husband did or whatever, right? And I'm thinking, well, if they are, I'm finding some solace in that because I'm thinking these folks for sure have an idea as to what's coming down the pipe. And if they're basically investing in the market, and they're basically saying either this stock is going to go up by this date or this stock is going to go down by this date, The fact is they're putting in long-term plays that tells me we've got some time, which I'm hoping means we're going to see a significant pump in the crypto market before and if everything goes straight into the shitter. And that's honestly what I'm hoping for, because I don't see how these folks would be leaving market money in the markets if they were overly concerned with something drastic taking place in the short term, and in some cases midterm to this year. Which also brings me to why I think that we could be priming to start running maybe in February, probably late February, and start making a substantial climb into the second big peak, or if depending on how you want to look at it, the first big peak where we might actually touch red and say, okay, this isn't necessarily a 2-peak cycle unless you want to count this as the first peak. This is a lower peak, but the next cycle is the big blow off top we've all been waiting for. That is what I'm waiting for. But I am not somebody who wants to blow smoke up anyone's backside. I try to call everything the way I see it. Not everybody likes it. Tough shit. I don't really know what to tell anybody out there. You know, a lot of times I'll say stuff on YouTube and I think to myself, hey, people may or may not like this, and then I'll see it in the comments, and I read all the comments. I don't get a lot of hate, luckily. Thank you for that. But I do get people that disagree, and that's completely fine. I am not opposed to opposing opinions at all. I welcome them. Tell me what you think. Tell me where you think the market is. Tell me what you think is going to happen over the next 3 months, 6 months. I want to know. I want to know everything. And that's what keeps me up really late, trying to figure out exactly what to expect and what's going on, and try and position myself in a way. What I've told my friends is, listen, this is my life right now. YouTube and all of the stuff that I do, this is my life, my livelihood. So when this disappears, all my income does for the most part too. I have little things here and there that help pay some bills, but ultimately this is my primary livelihood. Other friends, like they're in the mortgage business, or they're police officers, or they're they do other things. They have a career, right? They haven't stopped their career for crypto, right? So I tell them, listen, if you're unsure and you're not confident, or you don't know what's going to happen, take out what you put into it. Maybe double it. If you bought it at 11 cents and it's up to $1.30, maybe take out double. Take whatever it would be, like maybe you doubled your money, and let the rest ride and see what happens from here. If it goes up, great, it goes up. If we get a crossover on the pi cycle top and we're like, okay, the other peak is here, Bitcoin's at 180 grand and everybody's happy, Cardano's up to $5 or $6, whatever the case may be, then we all win. If it goes down, well, that just means that you're basically holding longer. It's going to give you another opportunity to accumulate more at a much lower price, right? And then from there, you ride that train up, and you can get out in the future, and you ultimately reduce your capital gains tax based off of your income tax bracket, and everybody's better for it, hopefully. And hopefully, everything going on in the world can keep its shit together, and we can continue to have markets that are going to be fruitful for people with the assets to get them involved, while we're continuing to educate more, and we're creating and expanding on the number of use cases to draw in the normies and get them into the blockchain space in one way, shape, or form, and using this technology and sending things even further. Now, in closing to this whole kind of open-winded thought process is, we might not see more peaks. We could be entering a space where, or a time period, or a phase, or an era where no longer are we going to have blow off tops to the red. No longer are we going to have these blatantly obvious periods of time where we're at a top and it's time to sell. We might not have those anymore, because we have more adoption, more wallets, more people, more institutions, more of everything in the space than we did 2017 and 2018. And with that is also going to come significantly more volatility. And we might not be able to get to some of these crazy peaks. And maybe 2017 was the last time we see something like this in a logarithmic chart on a weekly candle. I don't know. That's another story yet to be told. If we do, then we'll know moving forward, okay, These are the circumstances that need to transpire before we can start seeing a significant blow off top in crypto assets. And if it doesn't happen anymore, well, we could just start seeing the rest of the freaking markets look just like this from then on. Extreme volatility to the upside, to the downside, moving forward, mini cycles. Maybe we start having cycles of a 2-month or a 1-month pattern. There are a lot of different things, and I've had some stuff brought to my attention that I'm going to be diving into a little bit deeper for a future video that basically shows that we have these little 3-month macro cycles, that it's no longer about these 4-year cycles, that we're fading away from that into smaller time frames and what those smaller time frames mean. So that's going to be something I'm going to cover more in a future video. So yeah, I was going to go into a lot of stats about Cardano. I'm going to save that for another video. I will say that overall, when you're looking at the Cardano's delegation, we have dipped a little bit. We've dipped in the total amount of Cardano staked is about 30 billion, right? And we've dropped down from about 72% of circulating supply being delegated to about 70.85%, which is still phenomenal given that there has been some sell-off. There are almost 3,000 active pools going on right now. Total staking addresses is over 1 million. Over 1 million wallet addresses, if not people, are delegating their Cardano to staking nodes. And that's phenomenal, folks. I mean, that really is. That's a big deal. For those of you that aren't familiar, you guys want to check out CardanoCube.io. This is a really slick database, kind of a directory site for a lot of projects that are on the Cardano ecosystem. These guys basically built something that I was trying to do myself. I just never really spent a lot of time in doing it. But I've listed a couple like Exemplify, ADA Tokenizer IO. I don't even know if they're up here yet. I assume they're getting swarmed with listings. But if you want to know what's being built on Cardano, what kind of applications, NFTs, whatever, like what's coming, look at this, man. You've got DEX, liquidity, different wallets, marketplaces, DeFi, infrastructure, metaverse and gaming, launch pads, lending and borrowing, community, stable coins, oracles. I mean, it just goes on. For the people that are out there trying to convince you that Cardano is some sort of ghost chain, they're tools, plain and simple. Whether they're automated bots and tools or they're human beings that I would refer to as a useful idiot, they're tools. They don't know what they're talking about, or they're being paid to sell you a false narrative in favor of something more controlled by people with the assets or the revenue to basically create a false narrative or multiple false narratives around. I'll just leave that there. It really does bother me to see such, I don't know if ignorance is the right word, but just people who they run around and they look at headlines and they use headlines to base their opinions on just about anything in the world, and then want to become part of an echo chamber for those headlines, right? And it doesn't matter if it's true or not. None of that matters. What matters is that they feel that they are a part of something bigger than themselves. And, you know, one of the things that I used to always train salespeople, even band members when I was in the music business, fighters, you name it. Everybody wants to be a part of something that they perceive to be bigger than themselves. Everybody wants to find a higher purpose, a higher reason. And it's your job ultimately to provide that for them. And that's what makes people customers. That's what makes people invested or into you or want to be a part of what you have going on. I used to tell bands, like, you're always campaigning to be president. Everywhere you go, you're shaking hands and kissing babies. That's how you generate a fan base, you know, aside from having talent. You know, some of these indie bands that walk around like they're just too fucking cool for school and they expect to get on stage and play a song and everybody just clamor to be a part of that with no, you know, direct communication or contact or connection. Those are the bands that don't make it. They're too full of their own shit. You know, the same way with people on the internet, these forum warriors, these people on the web who are, they take every opportunity to dump on something or somebody from an anonymous corner somewhere in the world. And they take pride in being witty and sharp at tearing something or somebody down. Those people are cowards. I've had so much stuff said to me over the years, man, that none of these assholes would ever dare say to me to my face, because they would chew fucking teeth, and they know that. And I feel like there's a responsibility for people to educate themselves much better than they typically seem to when it comes to the internet, when it comes to blockchain, really when it comes to anything. And to be honest with you, a part of the frustration from a lot of this comes from there being such a widespread ignorance about so much, yet it seems like the ignorant are always the most vocal. And I just don't understand that psychology. Why does somebody who knows so little feel like they have to be so loud? Those that know generally listen. Those that don't know are generally the ones who are out there spewing vomit and bullshit to try and push you or pull you in a direction that is probably not in your best interest. So just keep that in mind. Now, I obviously had no plan for this video outside of just the tabs in my screen. Nervos. This is a paid segment. This is actually these guys, they paid me like weeks ago, and they said we don't want to do anything until we've launched some stuff in mid-January. So here we are. Nervos ecosystem is expanding. Force bridge to BSC is now live. Cross-chain bridge to Cardano is coming. Well, you better bring it. Better bring it. Nervos Network is growing its multi-chain strategy and recently announced the launch of a new cross-chain bridge with Binance Smart Chain. Nervos is making moves to rapidly expand its DeFi ecosystem as the network recently announced the launch of Force Bridge to Binance Smart Chain. Following the completion of the bridge connecting the two blockchain networks, Kevin Wang, co-founder of Nervos, revealed what's next on the list for growing the interoperability of the ecosystem. So currently, Nervos Network is trading at only 2 cents. Nervos is one of those projects I was actually looking at a while ago, and I was going to do a deep dive, and luckily for me, they paid. They came up as a paid segment, and they said, hey, we'd really like Crow to help just get the word out about what our newest developments are and things, but we want to wait until we've launched. Current market cap, $597 million. That's insane. That's insane. Current trading volumes about 10.2 million a day, down 31%. Again, because of the uncertainty of the overall market. People need a vote of confidence. People need to see a $52,000 Bitcoin, because that's what all the technical analysis gurus out there are talking about. 52,000 confirms another run. 36 to 38,000 confirms a bear market. And everybody's just waiting. Everybody's waiting, including me. But I think I'm done. I think what I'm going to do, I've done. But 2 cents for Nervos, that could be actually pretty cool. Let's look at this year to date. What was the peak? All right, so their peak was about 4 cents, and that was back on 330. So these guys are new, and they're just kind of getting things going. We'll have to see how that comes. Godwoken is live. Godwoken, our EVM compatible layer, is live, providing a fast, scalable, and familiar platform for decentralized applications. Join the Godwoken whitelisting program. Now, some notes. Godwoken, Nervos Layer 2, having already 100 million TVL with only one DeFi project live at the moment, is more than EOS, Algorand, and almost the same TVL as Near. That's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive for something that's still so new. Yeah. The CKB price will be increasing in terms of demands that the Binance Smart Chain assets will be paired with CKB and yield farming on Yokai Swap. Also more use cases, etc. What's Force Bridge? For those of you that don't know, Force Bridge is a cross-chain bridge that allows for seamless transactions between the Nervos ecosystem and other public chains, making it easier for developers to move their dApps and user base to the Nervos ecosystem. Upcoming on the 13th of January is the BSC bridge, which is already on testnet. So that's basically what we were looking at here, some of this news. The completion of the bridge marks a big milestone in Nervos DeFi expansion, unlocking new possibilities given Binance Smart Chain total value locked, the biggest of any blockchain outside of Ethereum. The bridge is enabled through a force bridge, allowing seamless transfer of tokens across the networks. You can check that out on Twitter. Cross-chain bridge between Nervos and Cardano. Now, this is what I want. The bridge to Binance Smart Chain is an exciting development as we build out our DeFi ecosystem, but it's only one of many bridges to come. Kevin Wang, co-founder of Nervos, told Crypto Slate, "We've been working closely with IOHK, the developers of Cardano, on UTXO research, and a cross-chain bridge between our networks is in development. The bridge, currently in testnet, will enable users to use CKB and ADA interchangeably, as well as create their own tokens across both blockchains. We're planning to deploy the Nervos X Cardano bridge in the near future." Bring it. It's right here. We're not going anywhere. It's right here. So we'll see. I like this whole Nervos setup. I like what they're doing, and I like the way they approach things too. Yokai Swap, the first DEX on Nervos, launched on December 3rd. The launch of Yokai Swap marks the first time users can move their CKB token assets on chain and earn APY through incentive programs. The launch of Yokai Swap is also expected to pave the way for other major DeFi players to join Nervos in the future and provide even more opportunities and incentives for users. And in the future, when Cardano Bridge launches, Yokai Swap will have ADA pairs. So yeah, bring that. If you want to know more about Nervos, just go to nervos.org. That's nervos.org. And take a look, man. I mean, this looks pretty slick, and I like what Nervos is building. And at 2 cents, you know, if we, especially once we confirm either way, to be real frank, if we confirm that we are in fact in a bear market and the sky is nigh and all that fun stuff, and we're done, then it really doesn't matter what you put money into, it's probably going to fall. If we confirm that we are still in a bull market and then we're going to be rising up for another significant run, hopefully with a blow off top, all this stuff is going to shoot up. And getting into something like this at 2 cents might be worth looking into. Okay. I'm not telling anybody what they should buy or what they shouldn't buy. Everybody knows what my favorite project is. But ultimately, if I had a bag of Nervos, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that. Especially at 2 cents. I mean, it's pretty cheap, especially if you bought into something like ADA at 11 cents. It's sitting at $1.30. Now you have an opportunity to maybe take a little bit of profit, go into something like Nervos or some of the other layer twos, or just some of the other applications in DApp, Sunday Swap, Meld, some of this other stuff, and maybe throw the dice on some of them. I mean, that's a personal choice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not telling you what to do by any stretch. I'm very risk averse nowadays. I'm at an age where it's difficult for me to take a bunch of risks and a bunch of gambles on a bunch of new tokens, and hope they do the best, when I'm just I'm primarily all about, you know, Cardano directly. But Nervos looks pretty good. It does, and I think it's worth looking into. Don't take my word for it. Obviously, go research, read, find out everything that you can. You know, the frequently asked questions, the technology. Check out the GitHub. Like, look at it. Go read it right now. And until then, go to Zempify.com, start listing. You can import your NFTs. If you're on another platform, you can list your NFTs and just start checking out what's available on Zempify. Maybe throw down a little bit, maybe buy some cool art, some cool stuff. I would really like to see, now there are some features and functions to Zempify that are coming in the future that I don't want to talk about yet, but there's some verticals within the NFT space that I think are going to become significantly bigger than just people buying art in the future. I'm wondering, how long will it be until there is a record label that specializes specifically in the launch of NFT music? When's that going to happen? And what sort of tools are we going to have to navigate the NFT music space? I don't have anything in the works for that, but that's definitely something coming. And I feel like the first first group that figures out the proper way of doing that is going to do exceedingly well in this market. But yeah, check out Zempify. Not many Cardano based marketplaces offer royalties on things that are sold. You have to create the NFT collections first on ADA Tokenizer and set your royalty rate. But once you've done that, you import it all into Zempify, and boom, you're getting royalties on every sale that happens for life. So check that out, Zempify.com. Thank you to our sponsors, Nervos.org. I will most likely end up doing some follow-up material on Nervos as it gets, once it starts coming into, adding functionality for Cardano holders and things like that. I will definitely be all about it. And Nervos, if you're out there, you're watching this, you won't even have to pay me. I like your project. I want to cover it when you guys are starting to get some more stuff going on with Cardano, because I think you got a good thing going, and I'd like to be a part of that in the future. So until next time, guys, thanks for joining me. Crow your coins, and I'll see you again real soon. Have a happy, safe weekend. Love you, miss you, mean it.